Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Doghouse Racing League's Tuesday Night Truck Series presented by Shoney's. We're back after a week off break because of Halloween. Hope everybody had a happy and safe Halloween last week. But we're back here with the Tuesday Night Truck Series, ready to take on Phoenix Raceway. No surprise, up at the top of the leaderboard is that 91 truck, Jonathan Jennings, showing that he can get it done here on these flat tracks, and these are kind of like his specialty. You normally see him up at the front of the field. Phoenix, a little bit of a unique racetrack. You see him driving all the way down on that dog leg, and we'll see that all night long. Drivers will be able to spread out quite a bit, use different lanes and different lines to try to find the best line that's going to work for them. It's going to make restarts and starts real interesting as well, because we'll see drivers 3, 4, even 5 wide at times through the dog leg there. So watch out for that here tonight. And Jonathan Jennings did win last time we were in action 2 weeks ago at Darlington, looking to get his 9th win of the season here tonight. We get the points all updated for you. First, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or over on Twitch, we do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Let us know who you're rooting for here tonight. As you see Jonathan Jennings continue to circulate track. Steve Gerber, currently the second fastest driver here tonight. Let's get our points up on the screen here for you, so you can see where your favorite driver is currently standing in, or sitting in the standings. Get that fit so you can see it. You see again Jonathan Jennings up at the top of the leaderboard, 8 wins this season. Jess McMahon sits back in second. Steve Gerber up a spot last week, up the third. Lucas Edwards falls back a spot, and Freddie Hughes Jr. rolls up 1 spot in the 5th, and we'll leave that on the screen so you can see where your favorite driver is, as qualifying is just about getting ready to get underway. We'll see who our first drivers are to hit the racetrack. Looks like it's going to be the 123 of Ivan Garcia first out on the racetrack. Ivan running that vintage Bill Elliott paint. Love to see that. Who else is out on the racetrack right now? Justin Hughes just making his way off of pit road. Richard Leclerc out there as well. Mark Dumont, Chris Leftwich. So quite a few drivers out on the racetrack. Tyler Millette just took the green flag. Bill Gentry as well. Chad Waller. So quite a few drivers out there already getting their laps underway. Apologize, we don't have the chat open just yet on our end. Having a little technical issues with the chat. See Tyler Millette out there as well. Christopher Simon just went to the top of the leaderboard on his second lap. Now Chris Leftwich jumps up the first, and then Jonathan Jennings immediately jumps up to the top of the leaderboard. Daniel Wilkerson coming through turns 3 and 4. Coming to take the checkered flag on his qualifying attempt. Mike Samia through turns 3 and 4. Here's Lucas Edwards in the 76. Coming off of turn number 2. Ooh, gets real squirrely there off of turn number 2. See who else is out there. Oh, Jeffrey Engel just making his way off of pit road, coming to get his qualifying underway. Here's Chuck Cobb in the 81, just took the green flag. There we go. Now we got the chat up and running for you guys. So again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, over on Twitch, or Kick, let us know who you're cheering for here tonight. I'll give you the shout out as well. You see Chuck Cobb making his way across the stripe. Ooh, has some issues coming across this stripe. He is not going to be able to improve on his time. Here's Jeffrey Engel as we have just about 30 seconds left here in practice, or in qualifying, excuse me. Yeah, it looks like that's going to do it for everybody out on the racetrack so far. Of course, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Kick. Do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcast. Of course, we couldn't do this with some of our great partners, including Shoney's. The Tuesday Night Truck Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations and try their legendary breakfast bar, or take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Also, we know that the Doghouse Racing League is fueled by Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy is designed to be the ultimate energy drink. 0 sugar, 0 fillers, 5 calories, packed with essential vitamins. Take hydration to the next level. Visit rogueenergy.com and use the code DOGHOUSE for 10% off your order, and all commissions earned through the link help support the Doghouse Racing League. Let's take a look at our starting grid here tonight. And starting on pole is the 91 of Jonathan Jennings. Chris Leftwich will roll off from second. Christopher Simon and Gary Armillo in row number 2, with Frank Hughes Jr. and Steve Gerber rounding out row number 3. Mike Samia in the 3. He'll roll off 7th, with Jeffrey Wimmer in the 8th position. Then John Smith and Justin McMahon round out your top 10. Tyler Millette will roll off from the 11th position, with Mark Dumont over in 12th. 13th is Lucas Edwards, with Dominic Hughes from the 14th position. Justin Hughes rolls off 15th, with Chad Waller in 16th. 17th will be Bill Gentry, with Daniel Wilkerson rolling off from 18th. Around out your top 20 will be Richard Leclerc in the 117 and Chuck Cobb in the 81. 21st will be Ivan Garcia, with Jeffrey Engel from the 22nd position. 23rd, Ricky Hudgens II, with Kevin Brown returning in the 24th position. 25th will be Stephen Bonomo with Leander Johnson from 26th. 27th and final row will be Mike Leftwich and Frank Hughes. As we're getting ready for the pace car to start rolling here to get the field underway and moving. Again, we want to thank some of our great partners, including the Doghouse Racing League. Visit their website at doghouseracingle.com for all stats, news, and standings for all of the Doghouse Racing League leagues, including the Tuesday Night Truck Series. I also want to shout out Race EPI for their iRacing coaching and setup needs. Visit raceepi.com. Support our channel by visiting IntensityRacing.com for hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs. Not just Intensity Racing, but we also have Ali Atman Weiss's racing gear there as well. And of course, our great partner over at Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is a well-known leader and established. They are a established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. The products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Check out the Butt Kicker for all information and find which product's right for you. As the green flag is waving, and Gary O'Meal has a bit of a problem on the start there. It looks like he might have spun the tires a little bit as the field spreads out and makes their way through the dogleg towards turn number 1. Christopher Simon down on that low side, trying to challenge Jonathan Jennings early. As they come down the backstretch for the first time and down into turns 3 and 4. And now Chris Leftwich up into the second position as a caution is out on the racetrack already. It looks like it might be for, the 9 of Bonomo and the 55 of Ricky Hudges. And that's going to bring up our first Wreckage Rewind of the night. You see back here, Bonomo in that 9 machine. Oh, the 117. Looks like he locks up the brakes, going into the corner, catches the door of Chuck Cobb. And then the 55 just trying to woe down. Gets turned by Bonomo. Bonomo gets a little bit of damage there. Look at the 33 of Kevin Brown. Just splitting the middle there. And then Leander Johnson just nowheres to go. Gets collected up in this one as well. Man, I'll tell you what, though, looking at, if we go on board here with Brown, that is quite the view that you're going to see here. Talk about threading the needle. That's exactly what we saw right there with Kevin Brown as he was able to make it through that wreck, stay clean and out of trouble. That's going to give us an opportunity for our first wild restart here at Phoenix Raceway. Oh, lights on the pace car are off. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to refire them. We'll see where Jonathan Jennings chooses to restart. Looks like he's going to choose the inside lane, putting Chris Leftwich up on the high side. Frank Hughes Jr. and Gary O'Meal will restart in row number 2. Christopher Simon, who was challenging for the lead a moment ago, now finds himself back in the 5th spot. As the pace car makes the hard left turn on the pit road. We've got a while to go before we get back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag's back in the air. Jennings with a big jump out in front of Frank Hughes Jr. as Chris Leftwich and Hughes go side by side in the field. Starts to spread out as they come through the dog leg. 5 and 6 wide as they come through the dog leg, filing down the double file off the corner. Oh, Gerber has some issues. He's around. There's the 73. Looped it around. That's Steve Wimmer involved in this one as well. Just going to bring up our second wreckage rewind of the night. Ooh, Kevin Brown got a piece of this as well. We'll have to see what happened to Kevin Brown first. Actually, Kevin Brown was just checking up for the incident. He didn't actually get involved in that. And Mike Leftwich caught a little piece of it as well. But it started back here with Steve Gerber. We see Steve Gerber get a little loose here. Oh, there's some contact there with the 114. He's able to hold on to it. But then you see Justin McMahon run in the back of Wimmer. And the 55 getting a little piece of that. I'm sorry, that's the 56. Get a little piece of that as well. Oh, I take that back. That was the 166 of Chad Waller. So Waller got a little piece of that as well. He's coming down pit road, getting some of that damage fixed. Now, of course, these drivers do not have a reset. Doghouse Racing League does not run resets or fast repairs, whatever you want to call them. So any damage that is here in accrued during the race, they will have to sit on pit road and see if they can get that fixed up. So we come by this time. The lights on the pace car should be shutting off. We'll be going back green flag racing momentarily. Of course, we want to remind you of our truck doubleheader tonight. After this one's over, the SCSRA Truck Series will be taking on Charlotte Motor Speedway in their second Crown Jewel race of the season. That league does a crown jewel races. There's 3 of them, and if the same driver is able to win all 3 races, it's Daytona, Charlotte, and Talladega, then they win a $50 prize. So we'll see this week in both the Truck Series and the Next Gen Series if we have anybody qualifying to move on to that Triple Crown race. Of course, it is their throwback race tonight as well. So if you like throwback paint jobs and great racing at Charlotte, be sure to tune in after this one's over at 9:30 for the SCSRA Truck Series. Jonathan Jennings leads them down the long, slow backstretch towards the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing. And Chris Leftwich already trying to take away that second spot from Frank Hughes. Oh, hard contact in the back. That was Ricky Hudges making heavy contact with the outside wall. I saw that barely off the top of the screen. We'll have to see what happened here to that 55 machine. Oh, was that Frank Hughes that just misjudged that corner? We'll take a look at this one again. But it looks like Frank Hughes didn't realize that the 55 was coming up the racetrack as quick as he did. He was diving down into the corner while the 55 was kind of straightening it out. It looked like the 58 was looking to take the dog leg, and the 55 was looking to stay out on the racetrack, and heavy impact for both those drivers. And that could be the end of the night for both of them. as both trucks made heavy contact with the outside wall. Of course, next week, the Doghouse Racing League Tuesday Night Truck Series, presented by Shoney's, will be heading off to Homestead Miami Speedway before we have another week off for the Thanksgiving holiday as the lights on the pace car are back off. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing at the end of this lap. Only a handful of races left. Like I said, next week we move on to Homestead. Then we have the week off before Thanksgiving. And then we have just Five Flag Speedway, Daytona, and Auto Club Speedway as the pace car takes the hard left-hand turn back on the pit road. And the green flag is back in the air, and another huge jump for Jonathan Jennings as the field makes their way down to the start-finish line where they'll all spread out here. Ooh, looks like some trouble for the 7 of Gary Armillo as he's fallen back a little bit here on this restart. And Chris Leftwich trying to run down Jonathan Jennings, hoping to have more than just a handful of green flag laps. He's wanting this one to go green a little bit longer. See if he can get that 91. Excuse me, then he had to 91 to wear out their tires. The driver that's trying to chase down the 91 in the championship, that's Justin McMahon, and right now McMahon finds himself way back. Currently running back in the 19th position. Just got around Leander Johnson trying to get around the 33 of Kevin Brown. But McMahon's got some work to do to get himself back up towards the front. Battle going on here between Mark Dumont and Dominic Hughes off of turn number 2. We see the 99 of John Smith makes a little bit of contact with the outside wall right in front of them. And Dumont's going to have to tuck it back in line as here comes Hughes looking down to the inside of John Smith and also trying to take Gary Armillo at the same time. But here comes Smith trying to fight back up on that high side off of turn number 2. And as the race goes on, we'll see these drivers using all of the racetrack. We've already seen them diving down onto the apron through the dog leg here, trying to shorten the track the best they can. You might even see some of the drivers using the high side or even driving all the way down on the apron here through turns 1 and 2. As this track lends to a lot of different options as Jeffrey Wimmer is leaving pit road. He is multiple laps down, but making his way back out onto the racetrack. Meanwhile, our top 3 nose to tail still, as we see Frank Hughes try to make his way around the 13 of Chris Leftwich. Saw in the chat a moment ago, a couple people, Chris Leftwich, hard contact with the outside wall, along with the 61 of Hughes. Caution is out on the racetrack. Now, what happened during the battle for second? Looks like Jennings pushed up the track a little bit. That allowed Chris Leftwich to try to make a move down to the inside, and Hughes right there running. Oh, Hughes got a little loose there. You see the back end starting to slide out a little bit. And then the 13 just came up the track a little bit. Just two drivers fighting for real estate, and both drivers hitting that wall tremendously hard. We're gonna ride along here with Leftwich here. Yeah, I don't think he knew that that Frank Hughes was there. Well, most of the drivers coming down to pit road, a couple drivers did stay out, including Chad Waller, Leander Johnson, both staying out. Jonathan Jennings will restart in the third spot. A couple of shout outs here. Lindsay Engel says, let's go, Jeffrey Engel. Yeah, a couple, talking about that last wreck, a couple drivers caught up in that one. That was not the most ideal situation, but what's not going to be an ideal situation now is Jonathan Jennings going to be in a little bit of dirty air, going to have two drivers on much older tires right in front of him. Here we go. Lights are off on the pace car. Pace car, get ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. This time, Chad Waller is going to lead him down to the green flag. And Jonathan Jennings is going to be up on the high side this time. Down towards the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here. Let's look at this. Michael Samia take a look down underneath that 91 machine. Trying to take second place away from Jennings, and that's allowing Chad Waller to start to walk away just a little bit. Tyler Millette up in the 94, looking up to the high side. Samia, as Jennings is able to clear Samia and put himself solidly back in the second position. That's going to give him the opportunity to chase down the 66 of Chad Waller. Meanwhile, we see Christopher Simon looking down underneath the 89 of Dominic Hughes, and more issues for Ricky Hudges, who's binned it there off of turn number 2. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. Oh, Kevin Brown got some contact from the 61 of Frank Hughes Jr. Brown makes hard contact with the outside wall, comes down and clips the 55. We thought he was through it. Oh! And then Ivan Garcia comes through and finishes off that 55 machine, and that is going to end his night. And Chad Waller continues to stay out. Well, we'll take this time to remind you that the Doghouse Racing League's Tuesday Night Truck Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations and try their legendary breakfast bar, or take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. The Doghouse Racing League is also fueled by Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy is designed to be the ultimate energy drink. 0 sugar, 0 fillers, 5 calories, packed with essential vitamins. Take hydration to the next level. Visit rogueenergy.com and enter the code DOGHOUSE for 10% off your order. And all commissions earned through this links help support the Doghouse Racing League. Of course, also down below for links, you'll find the link to the Doghouse Racing League's website. We can find standings, stats, and information on the Doghouse Racing League, not just their truck series, but all of their series across the Doghouse Racing League. Also down there, you'll find links to our partners over at raceepi.com for all your iRacing coaching and setup needs. Visit raceepi.com. Of course, you check out our website, intensitybroadcasting.com, for hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, as well as Ali Atman and Ruiz's racing gear as well. So you can check all that out and more and help support our channel over at intensitybroadcasting.com. And finally, we got to also shout out our great partner over at the Butt Kicker. And Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus, that's the one I use, is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. So check out the full line of Butt Kicker products. If yours one's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. And of course, not just do they have racing haptics there at the Butt Kicker, but you can check them out and see what movie theater in your area uses Butt Kicker haptic, as well as they do have theater seats that they make, and really creates an immersion for watching movies as well. So you can check all that out at thebuttkicker.com. So here we go. Lights are back off on the pace car. Chad Waller is going to choose the inside lane yet again, putting Jonathan Jennings up on the high side. Pace car takes a hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Chad Waller is going to lead him all the way down the long backstretch towards the Geico pit restart zone. Here we go. Green flag's back in the air. Another great jump for Chad Waller. Is he able to cover the spot and keep Jonathan Jennings behind him for now? Behind, though, we've got a mess off of the dog leg and into turn number 2 as we see Justin McMahon, almost wash up into the side of Jonathan Smith as he's looking down to the inside of the 99, trying to take over the 8th position. He's going to tuck back in line as we see Steven Bonomo who was caught up in an incident earlier in the race, now fighting for the 10 spot. There's Mike Samia and the 27 Christopher Simon battling it out. This is a battle for 4th and 5th as Samia takes over that 4th spot. And now Dominic Hughes is trying to challenge up here to get himself up into the top 5 as Mark Dumont and him go side by side into turn number 3. Meanwhile, up front, see Chad Waller continuing to lead Jonathan Jennings. As we are just past a third of the way through the race. Actually, I take that back. We are coming to the halfway point in just a couple laps. As Waller continues to lead Jennings a little further back. John Smith in a battle here. Justin McMahon able to clear the 99, move himself up into the 8th spot. A little further back, we see Frank Hughes battling with the 08 of Justin Hughes. And this is a battle for the 13th position. Here's where tires are starting to fall off a little bit. That's going to start spreading the field out a little bit as Chad Waller now has Jonathan Jennings right there looking down to the inside as they go down into turn number 1. And Jonathan Jennings is going to retake the lead of the race. Here comes Tyler Millette trying to get down underneath Waller as well. He's not able to. He's going to stick back there in the 3rd spot for now. As here comes the 27 of Christopher Simon looking down underneath Waller. And Waller staying out on tires. Everybody else has much fresher tires than him coming in on lap number 20. Waller was in last on lap number 6. Didn't take tires, just took some fuel. And you're seeing just the difference in what 20 laps on tires can do. And caution is out on the racetrack. It looks like it is for the 32 of Leander Johnson. Almost comes down into the 117 of Richard Leclerc. Trying to get back onto the racetrack. It's going to bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see what happened to the 32 machine here. Battling with Chuck Cobb down into turn number 3. And just kind of comes down across the nose of the 81. Makes light contact with the outside wall, gets that back in gear, and almost gets into the 117 there. And I imagine we should see the 166 of Waller make his way down on the pit road here. Also follow him on the pit road, Frank Hughes Jr., Justin Hughes, Chuck Cobb, Mike Leftwich, Jeff Engel, Leander Johnson, Ivan Garcia, and Kevin Brown all making their way on the pit road as well. Don't forget to join us after this one's over for the SCSRA Blue Ridge Truck Series, who will be taking on Charlotte Motor Speedway in their second Crown Jewel race of the season. It's also Throwback Weekend. We got some great throwbacks already being shown on their server, so if you're a fan of good hard racing, make sure to tune in for that one. Right after this one's over here on Intensity Broadcasting. So here we go. We should see the lights turn off on the pace car this time by, as we are quickly coming up on 25 laps to go. Jonathan Jennings chooses the high side again, putting Tyler Millette down on the low side. Mike Samia will restart in the third position with Christopher Simon in fourth. Mark Dumont restarting in fifth. Dominic Hughes sixth. Justin McMahon back in seventh. John Smith in eighth. Lucas Edwards ninth. And Stephen Bonomo back in the 10th position as the pace car takes the hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Green flag is back in the air, and we are back racing. We see Jonathan Jennings get out to a big lead here as the rest of the field starts to file through off the dog leg. Tyler Millette, Mike Samia battling it out for the second position. Jennings runs up the track just a little bit. And caution is back out on the racetrack. And this time it looks like it's for the 9 of Stephen Bonomo, whose hood is currently laying on the racetrack. And see if we can see what brought out this most recent caution. See Bonomo up on the high side of Gerber here. And as they come off of, looks like turn number 2, just a little bit of contact from Gerber. Oh, sends him down into the barrels at the end of pit road. And then you hear the motor pop, so that is going to end the night for the 9 of Bonomo. as we are coming to 25 laps to go. We want to remind you that the Doghouse Racing League is fueled by Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy is designed to be the ultimate energy drink. Zero sugar, zero fillers, 5 calories, packed with essential vitamins. Take hydration to the next level. Visit rogueenergy.com and enter the code DOGHOUSE for 10% off your order. All commissions earned through the link help support the Doghouse Racing League. Of course, don't forget to join us next week as the Doghouse Racing League takes on Homestead Miami Speedway. Always lends itself to some awesome racing. Drivers be able to run the high side, the low side, all over the racetrack. So be sure to tune in here on Intensity Broadcasting for that race next week. Then we'll have the Thanksgiving break. Then we'll be right back here for all the action to the run to the end of the season. So here we go. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. See Ivan Garcia catching up to the back of the field here as Jennings gets ready to lead him down to the Geico restart zone. And green flag is back in the air. Great view of just how much these trucks spread out as Tyler Millette gets a little loose here in front of the field. He's still trying to hold on to it. No caution, but a great save from the driver of the 94. But loses a ton of positions as now the yellow flag flies. Not 100% sure what the yellow flag was for. But, man, what a save for Tyler Millette here. Let's see if we can at least rewind and see what happened to the 94 here. It looks like he might have had a little bit of help. So let's take a look back at this one. So you see the 114 of Mark Dumont. Got some pressure from Mike Samia here. And, yeah, he just jives in a little deep, catches the 94 of Millette. Trucks start to scatter, and yeah, Millette's able to keep the truck going forward. I'm not sure what actually brought out the caution, though. So we'll have ourselves another restart here with just 20. Make that, when we restart, we'll have about 17 or 18 laps to go. So Jonathan Jennings will bring him back to the green flag. Mike Samia will restart in second. Dominic Hughes back in third. Mark Dumont from the fourth position. John Smith and Justin McMahon, row number 3 on the restart. McMahon having a great drive back up towards the front. Lucas Edwards will restart in 7th. Chad Waller back in 8th. Leander Johnson and Gary Amio will round out your top 10. How about Chad Waller? On much fresher tires than the rest of the field. About 20 lap fresher tires. Already back up into the 8th position. Is he going to have enough time and enough laps, and hopefully they stay green long enough to get himself back up towards the front? We'll have to see how this works out for him. So lights are off on the pace car. Jonathan Jennings going to restart from the inside lane, putting Mike Samia up on the high side. Green flag is back in the air. A great battle back here is Jonathan Smith looking down to the inside of Dumont, trying to take over that 4th position as the battle for the lead is heating up. As Mike Samia is taking a look down to the inside of Jonathan Jennings. And they are side by side off of turn number 2. Jennings, though, on that high side, trying to keep the momentum as Samia's going to push the 91 up the track just a little bit. Jennings going to have that hard arc off of the corner to get back into the lead. Now Dominic Hughes looking up to the high side of Samia, trying to take over the 2nd position. And just like that, we have John Smith looking down to the inside of Justin McMahon, as McMahon's trying to roll the high side. How about this? Lucas Edwards back up towards the front, currently in the 7th position. And he wants more as he takes a look down to the inside of McMahon, but McMahon able to hold off the hard-charging 76 for the time being. Meanwhile, up front, there's a battle heating up back for the lead as Dominic Hughes is trying to take a look to the inside of Jennings. Jennings able to drive away at the moment. And now Justin McMahon to the outside of Samia. Move McMahon up into the 4th position. Oh, he gets real loose though up on the high side. That's going to give the run back to the 3 of Samia. As we have just 14 laps to go. Samia and McMahon finally settle it as McMahon moves up into the 4th position. And he's got Mark Dumont that he's going to try to run down to get himself up on the podium with 13 laps to go. Chad Waller, again, on those much fresher tires, 20-lap newer tires than the rest of the field. Currently in the 9th position, trying to run down Tyler Millette. Right now, he's not showing the pace that he had earlier in the run. Steve Gerber and Mike Leftwich battling it out. Right behind, you see the 08 of Justin Hughes in this mix as well. This is a battle for 13th, 14th, and 15th. Just in front of them, you see Chuck Cobb and Gary Mio battling it out for 11th and 12th. How about Leander Johnson, currently running up in the top 10 in the 10th position? Had some issues earlier in the race, found himself in a couple incidents way back in the back of the pack. And now he's got a nice solid top 10 finish that he's working on here tonight with just 11 laps to go. As Mike Samia and Jonathan Smith are battling it out now for the 5th position. Samia able to hold on to that top spot for now as Dominic Hughes has Mark Dumont and Justin McMahon closing in on him as we have under 10 laps to go. Battle continues to heat up here as Jonathan Jennings is pulling away from Dominic Hughes, but Dominic has Mark Dumont and Justin McMahon right there breathing down his neck. As we are coming to 6 laps to go. Second, third, and fourth, you could throw a blanket over as Jonathan Jennings continues to run away. It's our next best battle out on the racetrack. Lucas Edwards, Chad Waller, Tyler Millette, and Steve Gerber are all battling out. This is for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Ooh, as Lucas Edwards gets a little bump there from Waller. Waller's going to take a look down to the inside. Tyler Millette's going to follow him right on through. Looks like Lucas Edwards is going to lose 2 or 3 positions right here, as he squeezes between Millette and Gerber and tries to put the fight back to the 94 of Millette. Chad Waller is now driven up into the 7th position. Meanwhile, Jonathan Jennings has a commanding 0.7 of a second lead over Dominic Hughes. Justin McMahon has gotten around the 114 of Mark Dumont. So move McMahon up into the final podium position. As McMahon is trying to run down the 89 of Hughes to try to take over that second position. When they come across the stripe this time, we'll have just 2 laps to go. And currently the field is spread out enough. I don't see the caution flag flying anytime soon, as McMahon is trying everything he can to get around Hughes Looking up to the high side, now he's going to try to cross Hughes over as Hughes almost caught the wall. Now they're side by side for the second position. And Justin McMahon is going to easily take over that second spot as they come to the white flag. Now Hughes trying to run the crossover. But McMahon's able to hold on to that second position. As the white flag is out, we are coming to half a lap to go. Half a mile to go. Jonathan Jennings comfortably out in front as McMahon is able to get out in front of Hughes. And as they come across the stripe, Jonathan Jennings gets his 9th win of the season. Justin McMahon comes home in second. Dominic Hughes brings it home third, but another dominating run for the driver of the 91 machine, Jonathan Jennings, getting his 9th win of the season. As Jennings makes his way down here to celebrate his win, going to burn it down right here on the front stretch in the dogleg. We'll see if Jennings drives this one right to victory lane, as this is one of the few tracks that you can actually drive the truck to victory lane. So he continues his little drift exposition here. And he makes his way down the pit road backwards. Looks like he is going to try to park that truck in victory lane. So while he does that, let's take a look at the final results. As Jonathan Jennings gets the win, Justin McMahon comes home second. Dominic Hughes in third. Mark Dumont and John Smith round out your top 5. Chad Waller brings it home in 6th. 7th. He's burning it out in pit road. It was Steve Gerber. 8th, Tyler Millette. Lucas Edwards, 9th. And Mike Samia in the 10th position. 11th was Justin Hughes. 12th, Jeffrey Wimmer. 13th, Mike Leftwich, with 14th being Christopher Simon and Bill Gentry, your top 15. Daniel Wilkerson brings it home 16th. 17th was Gary Amio. 18th, Leander Johnson. 19th belonged to Chuck Cobb and Richard Leclerc round out your top 20. Ivan Garcia, Frank Hughes, Stephen Bonomo, Jeffrey Engel, Chris Leftwich, your top 25. Then Frank Hughes and Kevin Brown round out the rest of the field. Oh, I'm sorry. And Ricky Hudges II round out the rest of the field here at Phoenix. As we get ready to talk to our top 3 drivers, starting with the driver of the 89, Dominic Hughes. Dominic, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
Man, great run for you here tonight. Coming home in third. Looked like you might have had something for Jonathan Jennings for a moment there, and then he was able just to pull away. What was the difference between your truck and his that allowed him to use that little bit higher lane to pull away from you there?
I don't know. I was trying to figure if I backed up the corner a little bit more and then was able to get in the throttle a little bit sooner than him, it would work. But he just got really tight and loose behind him. So I just tried running his line to see if it would catch up, and it was working for a little bit. And then I feel like I burnt the tires.
Yeah, a lot of cautions here tonight as well. Did that kind of play into your strategy a little bit, or did that kind of change your strategy as the race went on?
I mean, it helped a little bit. I'm not going to lie. At first, I thought I was going to get caught up in one of those ruts, the first one, and then I was able to survive it, but it didn't affect me that much.
Well, either way, had a great run here. Top 3 position here, 11 spots from where you started. Just a fantastic run for that 89 machine there, Dominic. Before we let you go, though, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, to my dad and uncle, Frank Hughes and Justin Hughes, and the Shoneys.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the podium here tonight, and good luck next week at Homestead.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
You as well. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Justin McMahon. Justin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
Man, interesting night for you tonight. It looked like you fell to the back there. I wasn't really sure what happened there, but it looked like you started towards the back and had to drive your way up through the front. What caused you to get stuck in the back there here tonight?
Well, it started off with a poor qualifying run. It was like, I think I started 10th or something like that. So it didn't really start off that well. And then the incident between, I think it was the 8 and I don't know if it was the 117 or the 114. I think it was Leclerc or Dumont. That first wreck, I checked up and I kind of got into the back of Gerber pretty good, I think, and it turned him. So I thought it had nose damage. So I just came down pit road to see if I had any damage, I was going to get it fixed if I did. So I did that and I topped off on fuel and I didn't actually end up having any damage done. So that just threw me in the back of the mayhem back there of this race. This was pretty pathetic, to be honest. It's not usually how we are. Kind of disappointed in how that ended up. But yeah, I put myself back there. Like I said, I didn't want to risk it having nose damage, especially with this track is, for the most part, it's aero dependent. You don't want to have a wrinkled up nose, but we didn't really run that many green flag laps, so I don't know if it really would have hurt too bad or not.
Well, we all know that Phoenix is known for the dog leg and known for the mayhem. Do you think having the dog leg open and drivers just taking advantage of that kind of caused a couple of those here tonight?
Yeah, I didn't see the first couple cautions there. I think actually some of them were in front of me. I think that had a lot to do with it. Just certain guys, just they're thinking they're clear and they're able to go down depending on what they're running for their sim setup. They don't all have triples or VR, so it's hard to tell sometimes if they don't have their spotter turned up or whatever. I think that has a lot to do with it, and it's honestly, it kind of seems like it turned out a lot like the real race on Friday here with the truck. So this might have been a little worse, to be honest. But I think that has a lot to do with it.
Well, as a host of our fan, that kind of just dug me kind of deep right there. So I was trying to forget about Friday night a little bit, but
yeah. Well, you'll live and learn.
Yeah, that's for sure. But man, a great run for you here tonight, coming home second yet again. But it's kind of been your season this year, and I mean, Jennings has been on rails with his 9th win this season. So I know he's been hard to run down. But you move on to Homestead next week. How do you like your chances there?
Decent, I think. I think I've run well there pretty well there the last few times we've been there. So if I can just take advantage of leapfrogging Jonathan here and there, I know hopefully I can hold him off. A couple other guys are pretty good. Tyler's pretty good there. I know Daniel's been really, really strong lately too. So if he gets a good qualifying lap in, I think we're gonna have some of the guys up front to compete with. I know Simia and Gerber, usually they're pretty strong too. So clean air is king, I think, there. So tire management is going to be huge. Saving tire. Jonathan's really good at saving tires too. So that's going to be key to try to follow his pace and try to save as much as possible. And hopefully we'll have something for him at the end there.
Well, good luck next week at Homestead. And before we let you go, anyone thank any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, you guys for the broadcast. Daniel for putting on this league. I know tonight was kind of a poor showing for what this league has for potential. We've run here before with 0 cautions, so if anybody's new watching this league and wants to join, just don't look at this as how the racing is every week. It's actually a pretty good league to run in. So him for doing that. Congrats to Jonathan on the win, and my buddy Nate for having Group 6 interactive on the truck.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too.
So that was your second place finisher yet again, Justin McMahon. Let's bring in our winner here tonight, Jonathan Jennings. Jonathan, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Man, great run for you here tonight. Kind of dominating fashion as we've seen quite a bit this season from you, getting your 9th win of the season. It looked like, though, you might have had some competition there at the front. A couple of drivers were trying to take it away from there at the end. What were you able to do to keep them behind you? It looked like you're running a little bit higher lane. Was that the key to keeping the momentum to keep you out in front of them?
Yeah, there's just no grip on it. There's no grip on the bottom on the exit there. It was good through the entry and center, but you just couldn't get no drive off on the bottom, and that I was able to carry that momentum down the straightaway. But other than that, they had me running for my life pretty much. That hurt. I don't like caution. That was embarrassing, to be honest. I don't know what happened between this year and last year, but last year was so much fun. And I don't know, these guys got to get their driving under control. They're just driving into the corners way too deep and dumping people.
Well, next week we move on to Homestead. That's going to be a little bit more of a wide open track. How do you like your chances at Homestead next week?
Mile and a half, so 50-50, I think, because it's basically wide open. Hopefully it's during the daytime, so hardware will come into play, but been good to me the past 2 or 3 times, so hopefully it continues.
Well, again, congrats on your 9th win of the season, Jonathan, just dominating the season. Before I let you go, though, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, you guys for the broadcast, Daniel and all the admins for putting these things together, and the team I work with, they couldn't do it without them, and league sponsors, Shoney's and Rogue Energy, and shout out to the Adam and Minnie Foundation.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win. Good luck next week at Homestead, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, man. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that's going to do it for us here tonight as Jonathan Jennings gets his 9th win of the season. Before we head on the Homestead, before the Thanksgiving break. Of course, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or over on Twitch, don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. That's going to do it for us here tonight for the Shoney's Doghouse Racing League Shoney's Truck Series. But don't forget to join us right after this one as the SCSRA is going to have their throwback night for their Crown Jewel race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So again, from all of our great partners, including Shoney's, DoghouseRacing.com, Rogue Energy, Butt Kicker, Race API, and IntensityBroadcasting.com. We want to thank you again for tuning in here on Intensity Broadcasting for the Doghouse Racing League Tuesday Night Truck Series presented by Shoney's here on iRacing. As our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over